Good morning, good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today we have a special unscheduled broadcast. We present Art Collectors Field Guide Fall 2022, the need of which is a long overdue. My name is Anna Shvets, CEO of Teachers Arts Management, art strategist, producer of international cultural events, and curator. I will be moderating today's webinar, and I'm happy to introduce the main heroes today, the creators of the guide. Maria Korolevskaya, co-founder and director of the Art Partners, art dealer and consultant, and Denis Belkevich, general partner of Fuelarts, an economist in the field of art investment and collection management consultant. I encourage the audience leave us questions and comments. It will be a very interesting webinar. Denis, Maria, how are you today?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi, Denis. Hi, Anna. So lovely to see you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Maria. I mean, I'm so excited to be as a guest for first time. No, for the second time. I'm the guest at Fuelarts regular online art tech webinar series. So yeah, thrilled to be asked, thrilled to present our report. 1 month has passed since we published our H1 2022 Fuelarts regular startups investment report, but now it's an unexpected event, and I'm happy to contribute in the partnership with the art partners.
Okay, all the audience and personally me, we are absolutely curious. What is this guide about and why it is especially valuable today?
Yeah, let me start, please. First of all, you can, using the QR code, you can freely download the report right now, those who are watching us through our live broadcast. So don't hesitate downloading it while listening to our presentation. As we said, Fuelarts, in collaboration with the art partners from London, is releasing a guide with recommendations on building contemporary art collections in today's economically turbulent and politically changing climate. Our lawyers, and they insist that I should pronounce that as well. So this study is not an offer to sell or purchase any assets, and any performance data in the report represents past performance, and past performance, of course, doesn't guarantee any future results. So we are clear of all charges, clear of all legal obligations. Let me continue. So this guide focuses on the main challenges of art collecting in H2, in the second part of 2022 and beyond. It provides collectors with necessary, we truly believe, necessary data and key facts, giving a clear picture of today's art market. So we made a deep historical review and exploring crisis, epidemics, and geopolitical turbulence from the art market retrospective. In the second part, we were given an answer on how to build a digital art collection or how to maintain an existing physical art collection during a bear market. So we also offer do's and don'ts in art collecting today for both physical and digital art, because our second aim is to unite and build communication between these two slightly different groups of collectors nowadays. And also we are giving a short forecast on the future of art collecting that will be helpful for the art market professionals, hopefully. Yeah, and important to add, so along with analytics, the guide includes interviews with key industry leaders. For instance, among them, Abraham Post, a collector, investor, and founder of Visual Capital, venture capitalist from Miami. And the digital art segment is represented by Auronda Scalera and Alfredo Cramerotti, the founders of XX NFT, a business which unites art curating, collection management, and publishing. So that's the report in short, but hopefully your next questions would allow us to contribute more to the essence of what we have released.
Yeah, sure. Could you please share with us your professional background and how have you decided to write this guide for collectors and art professionals?
Well, I believe it's a question to me. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. I'm co-founder and director of the Art Partners, and we specialize in curating private collections as well as collection management. We launched the company about 7 years ago, and now we operate internationally. And I've always been passionate about art. I either studied or worked in the art field, and I really enjoy collecting contemporary art myself and mainly focus on female artists. So I love going to artist studios, and this led me to launching artist residency in Italy in pre-COVID times to support international artists as a non-for-profit initiative. So I do really appreciate what art world has to offer in real life experiences, and always been interested in the psychology and motivation of art collectors. So the Art Partners and Fuelarts is a cross collaboration between physical and digital art collecting. Initially, when we came up with the idea, we had two goals. First is to create a document with recommendations for collectors, specifically during turbulent times like Denis mentioned. We analyzed lots of data and how the art market reacted over the last century. And second, we didn't want to target only one or another group of art collectors. We wanted to unite them in our guide, and they almost never get united. There are only 5% of art collectors ever purchase digital artwork, so there is a room for future synergy. And art world has always found it difficult to adapt to change, and we can see this in the art history. In all art movements throughout the history, there were active players of a new movement as well as skeptics. Whether we're talking about Impressionists, Cubists, Dada, the idea is not to compare the masterpieces of the previous decades to NFTs, but rather to understand that NFTs brought a new way of ownership, a new way of collecting, a new way of thinking and experiencing art for collectors. So most importantly, and what I would love to add, that art tech is not only about NFTs, and there are a number of issues we can address and solve with the use of technology and improve, like transportation, insurance, and provenance records, which would be very useful for the art world. So we must collaborate and coordinate even more together to build new ecosystem art world might need in the future. That was inspiration behind the guide, and that's what led us towards its creation.
How interesting, Denise, and you?
Well, yeah, for those who doesn't know us, we're Fuelarts. Fuelarts is all things art tech, as Maria said. It's not about any art tech is not about NFTs only. It's about, let's say, the history of art tech counts hundreds of years when the first, let's say, artists started implementing technology, starting with book printing in the art market. So yeah, they are the pioneers of art tech. So Fuelarts, yeah, we started with accelerator, with accelerating art and tech startups, and now we have three directions. So the first is acceleration of several layers of the startups development. The second one is our venture arm. We are currently finalizing raising our inaugural fund for deploying money in the most promising graduates as well as later stage companies. And the third direction is content, and our anchor project of the content department is our report. And since our startup investment report, but since today the second anchor project is an unexpected one, is the collaboration between the art partners and Fuelarts, the art collectors field guide. So we've made with this guide, we've made a step from pure art tech, focusing on collectors' needs these days. We did it for two reasons. So first of all, we shouldn't forget that collectors are the core audience of art tech startups. So our startup investment reports mostly focuses on investments, and it addresses to the investment ecosystem. But collectors, they also require attention and support, especially on the current turbulent market. And if we won't supply them with the information, so the startups might lose their audience in the future. So it's also the contribution to the startup ecosystem. The second reason why we decided to publish it is we'd like to remind the ecosystem that, for instance, Fuelarts founders are art analysts, first of all, as well as the founders of the art partners. And right now we're facing numerous external threats, an economic recession, political turbulence, and consequences of the pandemic as well. So we, meaning Fuelarts and the art partners, have decided to make our best contribution by providing useful information on the art market. So this guide hopefully should equip collectors with facts and figures, because it's all about information. And it should allow collectors to make thoughtful and forward-looking decisions in their art collecting journey, which is very important.
Yeah, thank you for these details, because it's very interesting to know more, to understand how you were working on this guide. But now my question is to Maria: how did collaboration between the art partners and Fuelarts begin?
So because I work as an art dealer and consultant, so I'm a typical representative of the traditional or physical art world, whereas Denis was responsible for digital collecting. And we met in 2018 during one of the first art tech summits, and stayed in touch. And I was following Fuelarts, and I have so much respect for what you do with Fuelarts. And the idea came naturally. I was giving a talk about 10 do nots in art collecting, and I was thinking it would be interesting to add also 10 do not thing in digital art collecting. And I approached Denis, and he loved this idea, and he added, the angle to what not to do during turbulent times, how this guide can be more calming for the collectors with all potential challenges. So that's how it all started.
Wow. Okay, colleagues. The first part of the guide is dedicated to impact of crisis on the art market. So, what are the main conclusions here?
Yeah, let me reply to this question as an art economist for my third education. So yes, as we mentioned, the first, let's say, historical part of the study refers to three possible bad things that are happening from time to time and affecting the art market, namely recessions, epidemics, and geopolitical turbulence. First of all, speaking about economic recessions, we are grateful to the study which was conducted by May and Moses, Michael Moses and Jumping May, the two well-known economists, specialists in math, if to be more correct, from New York. They analyzed data for 27 economic crises from 1875 to 2008, and we used that data, but we added there two other crises: geopolitical turbulence of 2014-15 and the consequences of the pandemic. So let's be quick. So the key findings are, of course, there was an outflow of capital from the art market during previous recessions that affected volume of sale. but on average, yeah, they decreased by 20% from their pre-crisis peaks. And also, art market showed negative price dynamics. By the way, these two parameters, these two terms, sales volume and price dynamics, are the most important, as well as the volatility. So they are the two most important terms to understand what's going on during crisis, and two most important terms for art investment. So the average cost of the works, which is defined by price dynamics, and the change of the average cost of the works of all artists on sale during those recessions decreased by an average of 0.7%, so less than 1%. After a period of depression, the growth of the overall market was followed by recovery of indicators of the art market in numbers like in 90% of cases more than the pre-crisis sales. And during the, let's say, during the last 30 years, namely the contemporary, the art market in its contemporary meaning, so in 98% of cases. In other words, the art market doesn't fall during the period of economic crisis. Very important to understand. The purchasing power of the majority of players falls, only this one, but then it recovers. But two important figures to add. So who is winning in the end? So lots sold in the price range between 100,000 to 1 million become leaders after each crisis in terms of stability in the market, in the art market. And that quite stability is being reached thanks to auction houses, who operate as market regulators. So they significantly reduce the number of works put up for auction during the second year of crisis, with an average estimate exceeding 10 million. So in other words, the amount of sales, the volume, not the value, the volume of sales decreases, but the percentage of lots sold, as well as the price dynamics, stays around average throughout the years. So auction houses, they help the art market to survive. Let's jump to pandemic. More observations you'll find in our report. So the pandemic, and as part of epidemics. So epidemics have been historical companions of the development of art in the starting from the emergence of the art market. Let's say the masters of the Italian Renaissance worked during the 3 centuries, from the late 14th century and 3 centuries beyond. They were working during the Black Death, the bubonic plague in Europe. And after that, the humanity hasn't been touched with any global epidemic like a pandemic. What we witnessed with COVID-19, it surprised us all, though we should understand that it made a quite, if I can say that, positive impact, especially on art tech, because the market reacted very quickly. Namely, so postponed or cancelled art fairs and auctions created the effect of deferred demand. Is when you have money, when you have the desire, but you can't buy it physically. So once the art market started functioning after the first lockdown, we were witnessing tremendous sales. And also during that period, the quantity of accessible art shifted into which shifted into digital format. It increased. So experienced art collectors, mostly working with having collections of physical art, they found themselves in emerging markets in discovery emerging markets and cross-segment art purchases from old masters to contemporary art, from contemporary art to modernism, from art to the skeletons of dinosaurs and sneakers. That was the engagement, that was the implementation of gamification into their process. As we know, all the collecting process is all about the internal desire to gamify the surrounding. And crypto millennials and Gen Z massively started exploring digital art, including NFTs, that has led to the NFT boom. So art tech startups at the same time this started being involved into M&A deals. Yeah, the art world understood it worth nothing without the support of technology during the lockdown. So what is M&A? For those who don't know, it's mergers and acquisitions. So investors didn't deploy money directly in the startups round by round for a traditional VC scheme, but they started purchasing their products, purchasing the teams, acquiring the startups in whole. We have a lot of examples you can find in our past reports. So as a result of the pandemic, sales volume in 2020 decreased by 22%. As you remember, the average is 20%. And we should put a stress that the pandemic was an outstanding crisis the humanity has never experienced before, because it was the combination of an economic recession and also the pandemic in the world of let's say in the world of a global economy. And of course it affected a lot, but only 22% decrease, which is very good. The humanity seemed to be very adaptive. And price dynamics decreased by nearly 2%, which is more than the average 0.7. But actually after then we're having numbers of 2021 and the first half of 2022. I'll be happy to comment a bit further about it. So we're we are jumping to the third part, which is geopolitical turbulence. Let's be short. So the concept of geopolitical turbulence entered the art market in the 2010s. So exactly since 2013, it has consistently ranked the first position in Art Tactic, Art Market Outlook, and Deloitte Art and Finance reports rankings of the art market's upcoming fairs. Very important to understand. So everyone was indicating geopolitical turbulence as, let's say, the fear number one. But at the same time, looking back into the durable armed conflicts in the 20th century, we should see, could you please show the data? We'll see that the art indices, they exceeded major stock market ones. Sounds surprising, but not about art. So this is evidenced by statistics from both global financial data and the mentioned above Sotheby's, May, and Moses indices. Yeah, why I say Sotheby's, May, Moses indices, because in late 2015, Sotheby's acquired the index of May and Moses. So now we are witnessing the geopolitical turbulence in 2022. It triggered a fall in both the stock market and the crypto economy. So many trade and economic ties have been significantly disrupted, primarily those who related to international trade and in energy resources and foodstuffs. But so far, the performance of the art market during the first half of 2022 is cautiously pleasing. So according to Art Tactics Raw Facts Auction Review first half 2022, the cumulative auction sales of Christie, Sotheby's, and Phillips make up 7.4 billion, so which is up 25% percent compared to the results of the previous year, and 300 more than 300% compared to the results of the first half of the pandemic year. But yes, and this increase in sales in the first 6 months of this given year puts the public auction market at the first place in history. But as we remember, the art market has always reacted to global crisis with a delay to 1.5 seasons. So the current increase in inflation around the world, accompanied by a decline in stock market indicators, so it has a chance to have a negative impact on the purchasing capacity of collectors and art investors, starting with late 2023 and 2024. So we see this time as the time of opportunities. The opportunities open up before the players of the art market. The case for small is try to use them correctly. And how to use them correctly, in our opinion, is, the second part of our study is dedicated to discovering this subject.
Yeah, so interesting, Denis. So deep dive into history, and it's absolutely important for all those who are working in art sphere, for art professionals, not only for art collectors. So the second part of this guide is dedicated to recommendations on collecting of physical and digital art. Please share information.
Can I have next slide? Probably it will be yes. Well, just to summarize a few tips from our report, I would start from the first one is focus on developing your own vision of the collection. And art collecting is a great tool for learning more about yourself, your preferences, your likes and your dislikes. I always ask myself, and I always advise clients to ask these questions: why am I attracted to this work? How does it make me feel or not? So it's a great tool to learn more about yourself. So number one, I would say do not follow any other collectors or buyers, and do not get misguided by trends or what seems to be a success at the moment. Find your own artist and shape your own taste. Focus on yourself, and building art collection is a very personal process, and it's very easy to be overwhelmed by the auctions and art fairs calendar. So it's highly important to know what exactly you're looking for. So do not buy something which you're too comfortable with. You might get bored very soon, and there are many interesting complex artworks. And so take time, do your research, and learn more about your preferences. But then it comes to timing. Well, initially we're recommending, me and Denise, we talked about it a lot, long cycles. So minimum 3-5 years is probably the best to hold an artwork, maybe even longer, 7-8 if you hold it all your life and you found perfect piece for you, even better. So patience is very important, but in the same time, even when you would like to acquire something, it's timing is very sensitive, so don't lose the momentum to buy artists before the boom or before it's becoming too popular. But in the same time, don't be too don't rush into. So it's really important balance between these two. Collection management. Please keep all invoices, all the paper certificates, as you will require those later when you will decide to maybe loan your artwork or sell. Sadly, especially if you focus on your collection with old masters, for example, like we wanted to cover different type of collectors with our guide, not only focusing on contemporary or so if it's modern or old masters, please. And sadly, historical value of the work doesn't always reflect the financial value, and the track of provenance remains crucial. Well, number 4, art that exactly Denis mentioned doesn't become cheaper during crisis, but the purchasing power of collectors falls. And like 2008 instead of 2009, it was 2009, 2010 more visible for the art world rather than the financial crisis itself. So just a few tips when it's actually coming to selling or buying art. When it comes to sales, don't forget that artwork can be sold in any currency or any market you might need. Art is a mobile asset, so it is an advantage. If you have a blue chip artwork, perhaps it's better to wait until the next cycle. So when the market is not very volatile. If you own a masterpiece or a unique market offering, then don't be afraid to sell it now. When it comes to buying, if you're interested in younger artists, then probably the best is to be connected with them directly through artist studios or smaller galleries. And it's very interesting to follow their career development. If you interested in more established artists, then we found out in our research that the highest liquidity in times of crisis is achieved by the artworks that cost in between 100 and 1 million, created by the artist, demonstrating strong market performance even before the crisis. So these are just to sum up.
Yeah, Maria, thank you so much. Denis, do you have something to add about digital art, probably?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Maria. That was a great contribution to our current broadcast, as well as, first of all, to the study in whole. So yes, the tips for collectors, as you could notice, they are split between digital art collectors and physical art collectors. But what can we say about the tips for digital art? So first of all, the owners of digital art, including NFTs, should remember that digital art as a class of assets have come to our lives forever, independently on what's going on with the current trade figures on the digital art marketplaces and so-called bear market. And what comes forever forms its market for quite a long time. So be patient. As for meaningful financial investments, because we hear, how to invest in NFTs, or better say, should we rely on the phrase like in NFT investment? So as for meaningful financial investments into digital art, including NFTs, rather meager statistics is not in favor of the investor, we should confess. Let's say early 2000 classic art investment funds, where they were based on resale indices collected and analyzed over the past 150 years by May and Moses and their followers. So nowadays, investors in digital art, they have only a 4-year-old market at their disposal, which was laying motionless for 2 years and then rush in the whirlwind of speculative transactions. So what we have now, we have a lack of data. Therefore, speaking about the current status of digital art purchases, we would suggest the term strategic investment than financial investment regarding NFTs, or investment in the future of the digital art market. Because collectors who buy digital art, including NFTs, they provide their money for the work of artists, curators, art historians, which contributes to the development of the trend. The more digital art we are buying now, the more sustainable the future of the digital art will be. So if you want to invest into digital art, you should understand that you are, first of all, are strategic investors, not the financial investors, because the risks are very high. But even today, the basic rules for dealing with art, with digital art, they have already been formed, some rules with the young digital market, and we're happy to share those rules with you for instance, and you'll find in the report much more rules. So, for instance, while buying digital art, four main things you have to do in this particular order. Market research. So collectors need to enlist the support in the form of market reports. They can, those reports, they can help you see the amounts of the digital art market, the price dynamics, sometimes resales of individual artists and market trends in general. So this is extremely useful. But also it's useful to regularly support all the data of that static issued reports by the data of real-time online summaries on the DApp Radar and crypto art websites, online resources. Second thing, studying the artist. So earlier, what we had earlier with physical art. So the practice of recent decades, when the market survived only due to the reports of the auction sales, is falling into oblivion. We should tell you the truth. So the era of marketing is coming, and during this era, the indicators of the artist's academic merit and active promotion are at the first place. Look at Artifacts, look at Limina app, and download and use it. So being a collector of digital art, you should definitely check the activities of the artist in social networks and determine how strong his or her connection with the crypto community is. And also the community itself around the artist is to be checked for so-called realness, meaning artificially created subscribers should be identified and avoided. And also avoid those artists who are creating the fake communities around them. So after that, we have those, after we made those first two stages, we should join the community. So collector can move on to creating his own ecosystem, increasing the potential of owning the work, namely either joining the existing community of the artist or the community of digital art in general. It's better to do the two things, to the both things. So to do this, you need to create accounts in the main social networks used by the evangelists of crypto technology, like Twitter, Discord, Medium. So and next, subscribe to current collectors, curators, and experts in the field, and which is more important, enter into regularly maintained communication with them, because it's all about communication. It's not like you are subscribed to ArtNet News and then you are sitting on a throne and looking from your corner on the art market, understanding everything. No, you have to maintain your community. You have to continuously discuss with the digital art community the problems of the art market. Only there you'll be an experienced collector and a known collector and respected collector. So, and the four steps, the fourth step is platform selection. So when choosing a marketplace to buy digital art or an NFT, should be taken into account that with rare exceptions, the collector will have to sell through the same platform. Yeah, cross-chain platforms and let's say apps for shifting from one platform to another are just being developed now. But we're talking about what we have at the moment. So accordingly, the marketplace must show a high level of development of the secondary market, which means regular resales. And also you, as soon as the demand for curated digital art is rising quite too high now and will remain, we truly believe. So you also need to check with the platform which curators this platform works with and what is their, I mean, the curators' significant is the I mean, yeah, is their contribution significant outside this marketplace? That's to be short, but download the report, you'll find much more.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much for these recommendations, Maria. Thank you also. Do you believe that this guide can be in help in uniting generations and preferences of art collectors? These two sides, how to unite them? These guys from physical art and digital art, how to avoid this skepticism and make them see friends, see collaborators in each other.
Definitely, and we really hope so. Guide was, inspiration behind the guide was like to be link them as a bridge, and it's already happening even more on institutional level. For example, Christie's launched the first venture capital fund in July 2022. That's sending a clear signal that technology will continue to play a everlasting role in the art market. Pace came up with a platform called Pace Verso, new platform for minting, exhibiting, collecting NFTs. And MoMA, $70 million in art at MoMA to be sold to extend museums' digital reach. So MoMA seeks to extend its online presence and possibly buy more digital art. You already can see the exchange happening on institutional level, so it's a very positive sign, and hopefully it's going to be even more collaboration and cooperation in the future.
Denis?
Yes, I'm very sorry for the lane mover outside my home. Yeah, I mean, that's not mine. I haven't ordered the lane movers for today. These are my neighbors, so just please forgive them. They're not watching us online since they're not into art tech or NFT market. They're into brick and mortar business, but they are good guys. Just forgive them, please, and forgive me. So yeah, I mean, I'll try to concentrate now in my reply. But yeah, let's start with figures. So according to Art and Tech Report 2022, 85% of all the NFT owners also collect works in the traditional art market. But at the same time, if you look at the physical art collectors surveyed by Artsy for its art collecting report 2021, conducted in March, we'll see that only 5% of physical art collectors have ever purchased an NFT. So we have 85% and 5%. So this disproportion represent the key challenges for the industry in the future. And today I support Maria, and that was one of the causes why we decided to unite our efforts and to create this study. So in our common opinion, it's not enough to unite the different sides of modern culture, just separating physical, but at the same time separating physical and digital art. So only by recognizing that the world of art and art market as a part of the art world is united, together we can overcome the consequences of the current recession and move forward towards innovation and whatever happens. And the convergence of these words, I mean, digital and physical, is much closer than one may think. So we must understand that both the canvas of the physical artist and the NFT code are made by the same hands, the hands of a professional, hopefully professional artist. And we should understand that the artist statement and crypto manifesto are different names of the same product, of the same artist words expression. So when we all understand that NFTs are not an alternative to the mainstream of art, but just a digital passport for the virtual world, then we'll connect those two words in our mind, because in the history of art, they have already been connected since the demo scene of 1970s. That's simple.
Yeah, thank you, Denise. We are receiving a lot of very, very nice comments from our audience, saying thank you for this guide, for this work that you've done. And maybe you can add something else in the final part of our webinar. What else you can share with the audience, with all those art collectors, artists, art experts that are listening to us now?
Oh, wow. The 20th century showed us that generational wealth was kept in gold, art, or real estate. So today, in our opinion, it's just not enough to unite on different sides of modern culture, separating physical and digital art. We believe that only by recognizing that the art world is united together, we can overcome the consequences of the current recession and move towards innovation. And we can see clear signs that is already happening, transformation already happening. And perhaps to stay ignorant is not the best way, especially if you interact with the art world is one way or another, and where open-mindedness and curiosity are probably one of the most important features. So we really hope that the above information and our recommendations will help you and will help navigate your art collection, both digitally or physically. And would like to thank Fuelarts, Denis, Anna. It was a pleasure to work on this collaboration. So big thanks, and please read everyone our guide. it's ready to be downloaded.
Thank you, Maria. Likewise, it was a pleasure and honor and great experience, as well as fun to create this study together. As a closing remark, I should remind that meaningful purchase, as well as meaningful sales or meaningful maintenance of any asset, an art asset is one of the assets. So it should be based on the information. Information is based on statistics. Statistics is based on history. History is based on research of that historical statistic data. By the way, London-based Maria says data, New York-based Denis says data. We're talking about physical art, digital art. So yeah, there are still some differences. And the only you should have desire, motivation, and passion to explore that data. And hopefully with our small study, you'll have the desire, motivation, and passion to explore the data more and more. So this is just the beginning. This is just not a full-fledged instrument, but just a key to unlock the door where you have a lot of discoveries. Thanks. I would also like to thank our team who was working to create this study. It was quite tough to do that right after the report. But actually, yes, the last page says content and data, Denis and Maria. Thank you, Maria, for content and data, and Denis is somewhere. So thanks to Sonia Stubblebine for the interviews taken. Thanks for Patches Art Management and you, Anna, who are responsible for the PR support, and your great team, Ksenia Listikova, Maria Bajanova, and Veronika Smirnova. So thank you, Olena Yara, for our brilliant SMM, and Yana Barkova, our designer for SMM Media. So they both create the buzz in front of the, connected with this particular release. And yes, the eye-catching design is the is another masterpiece of Alexei Kokhanov, our art director at Fuelarts. So subscribe to his Instagram, ikoha, and follow this Ukrainian genius. I believe that's it. And again, thanks to our guests of case studies.
Yeah, I want to underline that this guide is absolutely free of charge for now. So,
Sure.
dear art experts and collectors, use it, download it, enjoy it, and yeah, it is really can be as a manual for those who are just entering into the art collector's life, or it can give a lot of very deep and profound and valuable information for those who are already experienced collector but want to know more about digital art. And here we have one question, and I want to ask it to our experts today. It is a question from Mike from New York. When, in your professional opinion, the average collection will be 50% physical art and 50% digital art? What are your vision on this?
Well, I really hope that the separation not going to be that strict anymore, and I really hope more for integrity in the future. So that would be my answer.
Okay, thank you, Denis. What do you think?
One of my favorite actors, Morgan Freeman, once said, bad things start happen as soon as we start saying this is black, this is white. So the world is united, and it should be a combination, should be a diversity. So the collection should also be a diversity. And once we forget saying, okay, I have this percentage of physical art, this percentage of digital art. No, it's all about art. The rest is medium. When you invite someone to your house, you don't say, okay, I have 34% of the frame artworks and 22% of the, let's say, artworks under glass. Who cares?
Yeah.
So that's, I agree with Maria that as soon as we forget dividing the art world into physical and digital, and this study is one of the first steps along with our colleagues. So as soon as we forget about it, as soon as we forget naming digital art NFTs, well, it's just a legal container. That's it. So yes, I mean I believe in the nearest future. But
I think next decade perhaps, but I couldn't agree more with your answer. I'm glad that we're aligned on this.
Yeah, thank you so much, colleagues. Okay, yeah, we have comment here. Thank you for this important study, which I'm sending to colleagues. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you.
yeah, thank you, Oscar. Yeah, actually, yeah, all the comments that I see now, they are very positive, and thanking you guys for this work. And uh, the other colleagues of mine are asking if this guide will be on regular basis, because we all are professionals. We need kind of support during our work, and the reports, the guides that you are doing, they are of great help for us. So give us some hope, please.
Maybe.
I believe, well, we have summarized what was happening in the last 550 years in this first fall 2022, guys. I understand that fall 2022, it sounds a bit provocative. It means that we're going to publish something, let's say, in spring 2022. I really believe that the world will not provide us the necessity, will not put us in the position that will need to add something and do, like in a rescue mode, some advice, because This one is for, let's say, we believe for the next year. But please be sure that if something changes in the world around us, we and Fuelarts and the art partners and the Thatcher's art management will be here to assemble all the knowledge from all of our colleagues and to publish it as well, because we are staying here, we are tracking the art market. I would say if the collectors would be needed to guide it, let's say in half a year, that means that the first guide didn't work well, or some kind of or the ecosystem has it was impacted by some cases. We really believe that will not happen. But if it happens, we're here.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much for all the team for this great work. And dear art colleagues, please use this guide, enjoy this guide, use it for your work and for your growth and prosperity.
So we have several other questions. Maria, will you be so kind to start replying to this one, in your opinion?
Photography, video art, perhaps just, on the top of my head, in the because they're already based on digital, on a digital medium, so it would be easier to expand even more.
Yeah, I agree with Maria.
I understood the question correctly.
I mean, what medium? I mean, if the physical artist wants to move to digital, let's say, with what kind of media it's easier to make that move? I believe that. I wouldn't say probably, but maybe the question was which medium is much easier to sell after being transferred from brick and mortar to digital. I don't know for sure, but I would say that there should be the medium is not that important. The idea behind the medium, idea in the head of the artist, is key. And also, please go to our web YouTube page and look and watch our last week's webinar when we were talking with the representative of OG Art about the movable art, about the new perspectives of digital art. So that might be also helpful. Also find among our webinars the interview with Alina Gordienko, Ukrainian origin curator from London. She's also speaking about the transfer of physical art into digital mode. So that might be helpful to you. And we have the last question, Denis, Maria, Anna, which upcoming digital art events in 2022 are you looking forward to visit? To be quick, unfortunately, I'm not visiting the upcoming Deloitte Art and Finance Conference. I'll look at in the online mode. We have a lot to do here in New York. The Deloitte conference will be, but we'll make a summary of the conference in our newsletter, maybe something else. So we're looking to the upcoming CADAF in New York, the first digital art fair. And you also can watch the interview with Elena Zavelev, the head of CADAF, in the list of our previous webinars to understand their positioning better. And of course, the Miami Art Week in the end of November. Namely, if to divide between digital and crypto art, and more traditional art / digital art as well. So among digital art conferences, we are for sure visiting the Central Miami. Because of the number of speakers and the level of speakers. And of course, Art Basel, Miami Beach. Let's see, last year, Tazos made an incredibly successful pavilion. We'll see this year how thesis will surprise the art world. We still don't know.
Yeah. Maria, something from your side?
I'm considering to go to the Deloitte conference in Rome, and there are going to be early November NFT conference in London on the 3rd and the 4th, where one of our, then I think Aronda is the speaker or invited speaker, and then perhaps Miami. So that's plan.
Okay, from my side, I can recommend to visit online event that is called Cyber Attack. It is about digital art and activism. It is 16th to 18th of November, where I was invited and will be moderating and given a speech also on these topics. So digital art, it is not only for collecting, it is also for expressing your vision on life and work. So yeah, Cyber Attack in November.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you so much to the audience for all those who are listening to us. Download the guide and use it, and we will see each other next webinar of Fuelarts. Follow our publications on social networks, and if you still don't have the report, the recent report from Fuelarts, also download it from the website, and it is also absolutely free for now, so use it.
Thank you so much, and we hope to hear back. Any feedback is welcome. So
yes, thank you again, Anna Maria, so for this collaboration. Looking forward for a best collector's future.
that's for sure. That's
okay. See you in a while.
Thank you.